Thank you for joining in, and for today's video I'm going to be talking about mixing different colors here, and I did tell everyone to leave a comment down below if they wanted to see a video on how to mix and blend some of your own colors from like an original set of 12. So this is what we're going to go over today, and I just wanted to show that this down here is the set that I'm going to be using. This is from the Schmincke Watercolors, their professional set. And that's just like one quick layer there. So you can see that they are pretty light. But then also with multiple layers you can certainly get them a lot darker if you wanted to. And up top here, this is the Winsor Newton student grade one. Now these are the only two particular sets that I have with the 12 colors. I have other ones that are random, but some of the colors are definitely like unique and quirky, where I just wanted to show that it doesn't really matter which one you have. Most of them have, they're pretty basic. With the 12, they have, let's see here, a little bit of a rundown, like a lemon yellow, the deeper golden yellow, some burnt umber or the burnt sienna. Almost all of them have like an ultramarine blue, and then a phthalo blue. Down in the Schmincke one, these are very, very close. This one is phthalo green. This one is viridian up top. There's almost always a sap green in the Schmincke one. This one's a little bit brighter. It's a May green. And then an orange. And then they usually throw in a red. So as long as you have those to start off with, that'll be pretty good. And I think I'm going to start off with, this is one of my personal favorite colors that I made, like this blue-green right here. I think I'm going to start off with that one. But you can pause the video if you want to get your charts started here. I switched up how I did it. This way it was, honestly, it was a little annoying and it was taking me too long. These are roughly an inch all the way around the square here. There's 3 across and then 5 going down. They almost look like little Rubik's Cubes. But, and again, instead of trying to leave the space and everything, I recommend doing it this way. Just go across and then use your ruler and make your lines. And then as you're putting your colors down, you can just try to leave a little space in between. Don't go right up to the line, because you can erase them later when you're done. And let's see, I have 3 of those just to get started, because these are really time consuming. I like to do the little tiny charts here because, like I said, they are time consuming, but especially if you're new, those massive charts get so overwhelming that honestly, most people look at them, they're like, oh, I'm not doing that. But anyways, so the little ones are nice. And then obviously if you want to keep going, you can do as many as you want, or challenge yourself to do the big one. And I left some room down bottom here, and let's see, and then I'll do a little bit of a free-for-all down here. So again, you can pause the video, do your 3 charts, and then we'll come right back. I am going to use, this is my set right here, the Schmincke Watercolors set of 12 that I showed in my previous video, I think. I'm going to use the phthalo blue. And I'm going to put that up top here. And then I'm going to rinse my brush just a little bit, swish it around in the water. And when you're coming across here, you're just adding a little bit of water to make it lighter. A little swish again. So your dark, medium, and light. That's what we're going for here. And again, don't worry if your squares aren't perfect. Mine certainly aren't. Now down here, I'm going to use the phthalo green. So even if you have a viridian, that would work too. Okay. So even a little bit deeper. Okay, now we're going to get a little bit of water. Okay, now we're going to come back up to the top and I'm going to mix some of the phthalo blue with a tiny bit of the green, and then I'm going to put it right here. And I can tell just by putting that down right there, that was a little too much of the green, so I'm going to put a little bit more blue in it. And then the same thing continuing down. That same color, I'm going to add a tiny bit more green. And then I actually have a little too much water here, so I'm going to take some of this and put it here. And then I will add the blue. But by now you should get the idea. And these two are really close. So I think just to avoid that, I would put a tiny bit more blue in this one. There we go. Okay. And once you have all that done, then you're going to repeat the same thing we did like on the top and the bottom. You're just going to add a little bit of water to make each color a little bit lighter. So you have your variations there. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. Some of these colors up here are still drying. There was a little bit of bleed through on that one. But off camera I did a little bit of a comparison down here because I wanted to see which blue to use for the purples. And my little chicken scratch here. The ultramarine blue with the red, it's okay. It's a little patchy. I think when I used the phthalo blue with the red, it definitely came out a lot smoother. Obviously it's a little bit deeper. Is it the greatest purple in the world? No. This is more of like, I guess you'd say like a deep plum color, which is nice. So that's definitely going to depend on which blue and red came in your set, because not all of them are great for mixing, but I'm going to do work with what I have here. So I think I'm going to use, like I said, the deeper blue, the phthalo over the ultramarine. And then that's what I'm going to put here next. Okay, moving on. So I guess I'll start with red at the top. And then we'll put the blues down here, but we're going to use some water. So light, medium, dark again, and then put the blue on the bottom. Okay, now for here, we're going to use the red with just a tiny bit of blue. And I'm going to do a little bit differently than I did that one, just because I guess I just realized something. If this color is already on your brush, it makes sense to just go through the motions here instead of trying to have it mix it all over again. Okay. Well, live and learn, right? I guess that's why we practice. So now moving down the line, again, we're just adding little bits more of blue. Sometimes, let's see here, it even helps, like, so you don't mess up your chart. You can use a tester. Now see, I put way too much blue on that one. So you can go back. That's a pretty color though. Add a tiny bit more red into it. See, that's pretty much that color. See, it takes a lot of patience and practice when you're doing these. See, we'll go back again with some of the blue. And see, that would be more down here where it's like just more blue. So maybe even this color remain right here. We're going to put right here. And then we still need that middle. Okay, as long as we have this here though, let's go ahead and add our lighter shades in. Okay, now we still have to go back to that middle one. So we need a tiny bit more. Oh, let's try this one. I think that's about. This one is definitely cooler than this one. So I guess as long as we accomplish that, we're on the right road here. Okay. Okay, these are actually really pretty. I'm a little bit surprised with those. But again, this one, yeah, this one's comparable to up here. So yay, that actually came out better than I thought. That's good. Like I said, sometimes you never know, depending on which blue and red you have. But again, this is a good idea too, how like I was just mixing back and forth on here so that way you don't mess up your chart, and then you can see what's what. So I definitely recommend doing that. Okay. Oops, a little splash. Oh, and again too, I took my waterproof like fine liner here, and I just wrote the colors, like I wrote the phthalo blue, phthalo green, and then I'll put the red and the phthalo blue, just so you know what's what and what was mixed. Last up, I was trying to think here about which colors I wanted to mix. I think just for, I do have a bright orange in my set, but I think just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use the yellow and red, and then we'll see all the variations of the orange in the middle. That sounds good. So we've got, and I'm going to use my, I think this is pretty close to a cadmium yellow. There. It's definitely not yellow, or it's not lemon yellow. It's deeper than that. Okay, so again we're gonna add a tiny bit of water. And get lighter as we go. And I am actually going to change out my water because it's filthy. Okay. Light, medium, dark. Okay, and I switched out my water. Okay, now back up to the top here. Very, very little red. I'm going to mix in with that yellow for the next one, because that red is strong. And again, just swish it in a little bit of your water to make it lighter. And now right here in the middle, I'm definitely going to go for more of the bright orange look. Let's see here, with the little tester out again. Let's use a tiny bit more red. So it was a little too much. So
And the next one.
oops, I got caught up in the moment and I forgot to do those. Okay, so I already have this color on my brush, so I'm going to have to go back to that. to that orangey one. Okay, is that close? Yeah, this is close. Okay. And one little last one on the bottom here. I'm just going to mix a little bit of the red with the white to get a pink. I mean, and when you're using your white with your colors, they do turn out much more opaque, almost like a gouache. But sometimes you can, depending on what you're doing, you can spice things up, and they certainly look really nice with regular watercolors as well. That is it for today's demonstration tutorial here. I hope that you enjoyed this, and make sure to subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you next time.